So to start things off, we have the Sarracenia collection. All the outdoor plants, not just Sarracenia here. We'll start off with the flytraps. Here we have DCXL. Not its biggest right now, but lots of traps. It did flower this year. I let it flower, but unfortunately the season didn't take for whatever reason. I crossed it with this typical here. It's yeah, it tried to flower itself to death. I didn't let it do that. But yeah, it's not very big right now. This one came from Walmart, I think. Hard to remember. Of course, I got this one from flytrapstore.com, as well as this one came from flytrapstore.com. Wacky Traps. I've got another one in. Yeah, this one actually came with 2 crowns, which is amazing. It was a small plant and it came with 2 crowns. Fantastic. But yeah, I separated them out. Put one in a different pot, put that in the greenhouse, which we'll see later in the video. And yeah, this one's here. It's amazing how different conditions cause the exact same plant that's the exact same age to grow completely different. The one in the greenhouse is a low rosette. This one's got the arching leaves. And of course it's got the very thick leaves that don't close at all. It really does feel like a cactus. Very thick, very succulent-like. Back here in the shade, we've got a pot of a bunch of Drosera rotundifolia, I believe they are. Some grass growing there too. But yeah, Drosera rotundifolia. And I believe over here I have a Filiformis. I'm not sure it's still alive or still up. Oh yeah, there's still a leaf. Still some leaves. Might have got dormant. I thought it went dormant, but there's still some leaves back there. Hard to see. I believe that's all of the smaller plants left. So moving on to the Sarracenia. We have, I believe this is Jutha Soper. This is a very nice picture from it. Just growing another one here. This one didn't flower this year for some reason. I'm not really sure why. I guess we'll move left to right. So here we have flower variety Maxima. Just kind of green. It's later in the year. Oh, there's a giant grasshopper right there. Oh, that's who's been eating the leaves. Knock it off. Yeah, that's who's been doing this. I was wondering who was doing that. Yeah. Just big green pitchers. They're quite small at this time of the year. It's pretty late in the season for these guys. It's putting out the second crop of pitchers, but these ones are quite a bit smaller than the ones in the spring are. This one was one of the spring pitchers. You can see it's quite a lot bigger. This one too. Moving back here, we have my big clump of Purpurea subspecies venosa. It doesn't get a huge amount of light back there, so it's not really super colorful. But it's doing well, it's growing. Here we have Sarracenia leucopola, Baldwin County. And we come to the first one that's got active fruit on it. This one, it looks like a cross with Purpurea. Hopefully that's right. My tags didn't do so well this year. They got washed off by the rain and the elements. Need to come up with a better way of doing that. Maybe color-coded twist ties next year, because I remember some of them, but I don't remember all of them. And this one I don't even think I did myself. I think that was just one that was open pollinated. So I've got 2 plants at Baldwin County. You can see a bunch of the Phyllodia here. It didn't really make any early pictures. It didn't make any spring pictures for me. Just made the flowers and then made the Phyllodia. Made one like this. This is the best picture it had in the spring, which was quite odd, but it is what it is. We got the first of the late summer to fall pictures growing here, though. Those are going to be very nice. I've got another one of the exact same plant here. It made a flower. I crossed this with the plant I'm going to come to next, which is Sarracenia flower variety Ornata. Yes, this one's very nice. I got this one specifically for breeding, and that's what I did with it this year. I crossed it with Leucopola, and the Ornata also flowered this year, and I did the reverse cross. I also saved some of the pollen, and I think I did this with flower Ornata. I am not sure. It washed off the tag, but I think I did Judith Hindle with flower Ornata. I think. We'll see. Back there we have Hurricane Creek White, and I did this either with Baldwin County or Judith Hindle. I'm not sure which one took, but one of them did. And this one I did with either flower Ornata or itself. Again, I'm not sure which took. We'll find out eventually. Yeah, that's Hurricane Creek White. It hasn't done much either this year as far as pictures go. But it's got Phyllodia. It's got a tiny picture there. Judith Hindle never disappoints. Look at that. That's the best it's looked this year. It's kind of late in the season for it, but yeah. And then back there I have some grotesque, hideous mutation of a plant. I don't really know what it is. It looks like it's always got thrips, but I think that's just how it looks. I haven't noticed thrips on it this year, so I think that's just how it looks. It's a horrible plant. I have no idea what it is. It was a gift. I have no idea what the parents are. I think it's probably either like a Psittacina or a minor hybrid. Maybe like Psittacina cross Purpurea or something. I don't know. Very, very horrible looking plant. But I kind of like it, you know. It's kind of... Its grossness is its asset. Here, let me try and get a close-up of it. Look at that. Look how gross it is. Get that plant out of the way. Look at that. Look how weird and gross that looks. Some of that is just leaf damage, but like the kind of curled up growth it has, that's just how it grows. So yeah, that's the outdoor plants. I'm gonna go ahead and end this before it gets too long, and we'll move on into the greenhouse. I almost forgot to go over the Circinia aureophila. Got these a number of years ago from Metaview. This one, the aureophila in general had a... This is not my only plant. Well, it kind of almost is my only plant now, but I had a whole bunch of them before this year. They had a horrible year this year. I think it just got really, really hot for them. Yeah, I think it got really hot for them. And they just did not do well, and most of them died. I'll go and show the rest of them now, or what was the rest of them. And this is what was the rest of the Circinia aureophila. They had been growing in this raised bog garden I made. This had been a full container tray of them. I might throw a picture of them, of what it used to look like up. But yeah, I think they just got fried over the summer when it got really hot in the late spring, early summer. And right now there's 2 plants that are clinging to life in here, and a number of little fly traps. Well, that's getting nice. Look at that. Very nice. There's another one over here. There had been a few sundews in here that just came up on their own. Let me see if I can find one. They might have died back for the summer. Oh no, here's one. See it there? Yeah. More Drosera rotundifolia. Oh. There's a Annullus, baby Annullus, carolinensis. So cute. We'll get those a lot. Probably a hatchling from this year. But yeah, that is the outdoor plants. And now, move into the greenhouse. This is the turtle pond. We've got some various tropical plants growing around it. I'll show you the filter. The filter is a raised waterfall section that serves as a overhead sump and a refugium. We've got filter media in there, lots of lava rock for beneficial bacteria growth, for nitrate conversion, or production, nitrite and ammonia conversion. We've got a bunch of plants in the pond to soak up in the overhead sump in the waterfall section and the filter to suck up in the nitrate, or as much nitrate as they can. Got a big Boa papyrus, some pickerelweed, some cattails, pickerelweeds in bloom. Going around the pond, we've got Red of Paradise, Amorphophallus cognac. Those are not really there by choice. Some plumeria that are currently covered in thrips. I've got some lacewings on the way to try to deal with those. You can see they're covered in diatomaceous earth. That fan's probably pretty loud. I'm not sure you can hear me. I have to dub over this. We've got Nepenthes ventrata right there. Flowering female. And Nepenthes Miranda. There's a dead picture back there. There's a dead pitcher back there. It's currently flowering male in several spikes, like 5 or 6 spikes right now. If only it weren't infertile, I'd be able to pollinate some of my guys. So this is the lowland chamber or tent. We've got lowland plants in here. We've got Piper nigrum, black pepper. Come back from the Nepenthes. Here is my humidifying device. It's a fog maker in front of a cheap Amazon fan in a tub of water. And you know, it lasts probably about a week, maybe a little bit less. And this is good for providing humidity. And it's good to grow some tropical water plants on, like this mangrove seedling and these lotus seedlings back here. Moving on over here, we've got mite problems in here, unfortunately. We have predatory mites, but they haven't really seemed to do anything. But we've got some baby plumerias here, covered in mites, covered in mite damage. Really need to figure something out with those. We've got a chocolate tree, tailbottom by cacao. It's doing alright. Could be doing better, could be doing worse. Go ahead and fertilize that right here. It might help it grow a little bit. We've got a starfruit tree, also got mite damage and sun damage from the way. Treated it with neem oil and left out in the sun. Did not kill the mites, unfortunately. We've got some sort of lily back here, bloomed earlier. Very weird, but not in bloom right now. The main star of the show in the tent, Amorphophilus titanum. It's got 2 big leaves, and it's probably going to explode that pot in about a year or so. Really hoping I can get this guy to bloom. Really hoping. That would be very nice. So over here, in these trays, I've got, only one of them is easy to open, so I'll open this one. These are Sarracenia seedlings. These are a cross between Sarracenia leucopola Hurricane Creek White and Sarracenia aureopola. So those should be pretty nice. I've got that tray full of them, and this tray is also them. This tray is, which one is that? Oh, that's 001. That's Selft, Leucopola, Baldwin County. This is going to be Aureopola seedlings. I've got some others to show you on the table out there. These are surprises that I'm not ready to show yet. There's not very many of them. So, moving on to the Nepenthes in here. Down here we have a small Nepenthes bicalcarata, Sarawak Giant Red, or whatever they call it, BE3682. It's doing okay. I haven't had this for very long, but it's doing all right. Here we have my seed-grown Nepenthes ampullaria. It did not really appreciate the move in here, but it's coming back. I found this particular clone, at least, hates bright light almost as much as it hates low humidity. Not much to see with them yet. These guys, on the other hand, are doing pretty well. We'll start with Clipeata, our most expensive Nepenthes. We got a new picture coming here, but you can see it's got a nice one here, and this is the most recent picture it has. Still pretty small, but it's growing Not super fast, but it's growing quickly for Nepenthes. Here is my Nepenthes truncata seed grown from EP. This is going to be really nice when it grows up. And it's just a baby and it's already huge. This is the previous picture. And the one before that. Alright, so that's the tent. Temperatures in here range from 85 to 95 during the day, I believe. At night, they are, I believe they're 80 at night, I believe. Or thereabouts, just under 80 usually. This is the whole mess of cording and wires that control it. Probably not super safe, but it seems to be doing alright. Ignore the timer or the controller there. That's looks like it's glitching out. It doesn't do that in real life. That's just the hertz of the refresh rate of the display matching the frame rate of the video, or not quite matching it. That's why it's looks like it's freaking out. So, moving out of here, we come to the main Nepenthes table, the Highland table. I'm gonna go ahead and zip this up. All right, the Highland table. Well, first, let's start with the other Amorphophallus. We've got Pyonie folius, hasn't done much, still underground. Boulibifera, it's, you know, got a leaf. The leaf has a bulb going, hence the Boulibifera name. Here we have Napolensis, I believe. It's got a couple of leaves, not much. And here is my big cognac, my blooming size one. It did bloom this year, this one did. It's been reducing in size, so I fed it quite a lot. I fed it quite a lot for this year. Hopefully it's going to get bigger. Hopefully get bigger, like a bigger flower. We got some generic Phalaenopsis orchids here. Another avocado tree that's not in the ground. It's in a pot on the table here. We got Pseudomotum venosum. It's kind of leaning over. For some reason it likes to do that. I don't know why. But it does that. And we've got Amorphophallus yunonensis. Big spiky leaf stem. It's probably about a 2.5 foot leaf. Maybe a 2.5 foot to 3 foot leaf. It's pretty big. It's above my head when I'm standing upright, but it's up like, I don't know, 3 feet off the ground. Okay, so now let's get into the really good stuff. This could probably be its own video. Let's start off in the corner here. We've got Nepenthes Repentii by Hamada. Really nice. Oh, this is just opened. I was wondering when this was going to open. Nice. They're like all kind of green like that when they first open, and they darken up to this coloration. Right next to it we have Enraja Berbidier by Edwardsiana. Like the rest of my Raja hybrids, it's not been doing much recently. The temperature at night is about 65. Well, recently it's been pretty cool, so it's been in the low 60s, which I have to imagine that Hamada and Loei are enjoying, and the Raja hybrids. But the Raja hybrids are, I don't know, they seem to be doing pretty meh for me. Not really growing that quickly, not making any pictures. They do pretty good over winter, but right now, not so great. They're not dying or anything, they just kind of stopped growing. Right next to that we have Nepenthes closei, clone 227. So this might be a hybrid with Maxima, but I hope not. I did not pay anywhere near as much as for a confirmed true closei as for this one. I did not spend $400 on that plant, so even if it's a Maxima hybrid, I'll be disappointed, but not that disappointed. We have, oh, let me see if I can get it. Kind of hard to get it because the closei is in the way, but good old Nepenthes Hamada. This is kind of like an intermediate to upper picture on clone AW4. Very small upper picture, or intermediate picture, but it's definitely not a lower picture because it's very green. And the entire plant is right here. Put out a leaf jump, not too bad. Yeah, it looks like it's done a bit of a leaf jump this time. It's getting bigger. Can't wait for can't wait for it to start vine and have the big pictures. Right behind that, I would get it out, but there's a couple pictures in it. We have Phragmipedium Bessei. It's been doing okay. It's been growing. Not super quickly, but it's been doing alright. It's right here in front of the evaporative cooler. Same as the Helianthera and most of the Highland Nepenthes. But we'll get to that one later. But yeah, the temperature coming out of the evaporative cooler is, on the hottest days, it stays just over 80 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's really nice for the Highland plants, and especially the Helianthera. I'd imagine the P. Bessei really loves that too. Growing in the crown of that, you can see a new picture of Nbongzo. We have a little bit of an older picture from Bongzo. Not super dark, but it's, you know, it's pretty colorful. It's nice. I'll give it some time to grow before I judge it. African Violet, it's just a generic garden store one. Right next to that we have Nepenthes Roecantlii, seed grown. It's getting big. Not much to see, but it looks alright. Behind that we have Glandulifera, seed grown. Just got that one recently, not too much to look at. Another recent arrival right next to it, a picture of Nepenthes Berbigii. The entire plant is behind there, the big plant. Right next to the Glandulifera is Leucoputrana, Raya by Loei, Berbigii. Yeah, hasn't really done much for me. Or, well, not in the summer at least. It's grown great for me in the winter, but in the summer it's kind of stopped. No pictures, all pictures have died. It's growing slowly, but it is growing. Behind that is Diotas, which is growing, so it's really nice. It's really nice to see in the summer. Next to that is Helianthera tatei. This one, it grows well for me, but it doesn't, the nectar spoons never form right. I'm not sure why. When I had it under a lot of bright light, it had deformed pictures. When I have it out here under the Nepenthes light, it has normal form pictures, but it doesn't make nectar spoons. So I don't know. Here we have Cetacinoides, or Helianthera Cetacinoides, sorry. Pretty small, very new picture. Helianthera Pulchella, even smaller. A couple of new arrivals. Spatialis Procyrus Locoides, Nepenthes Vetricosum Maya As. Nepenthes loei, seed grown, doing well. Nepenthes ventricosa, K cross M, seed grown, 2 of them. It'll be very nice to see how those do. Dionai muscipula wacky traps. A personal favorite of mine. We've got Cetacea purpurea variety Montana from South Carolina. This grows not far from where I live. And yeah, really hard plant to get. Some Trianto occidentalis. Just made a video not long ago about how to grow these, so you've seen them. Have you seen that? Cetacea leucophila, Hurricane Creek White. No. Baldwin County. Baldwin County crossed with Self. Same as these guys. Back here we have some Oreophila seedlings. Small, cute, not growing very fast, but they're growing. We have Loei Vici Bastiana Vici Maxima Vici by Platykyla. It's still pretty small, but it's getting bigger. It's getting a flare parasome. That's nice to see. Nepenthes enormis cross Bongso, very black. Much darker than pure Bongso for some reason. Maybe it gets more light. Vanda Tokyo Blue, I think. Right here we have Birbigea by Rocantlii. It's starting to darken up. We got Nepenthes sanguinea. Starting to get big. There's a bigger one up here. Probably about 5 inches. Maybe 6 with the lid. Nepenthes Raja Crossmira. Another one that's not doing so great. It's growing, but not very fast. Nepenthes Rocantlii by Burkei. Not much to see. Still pretty small. Nepenthes St. Gaia. Huge explosion of growth there. Not surprising. That's what it does. Here we go, another one of my favorites. Nepenthes Brixiana Peter D'Amato. It's very dark. The camera does not do it justice here. It was much darker in person. We've got Dendrobium spectabile back there. Sortabile. We got a Paphiopedilum, I forget what the name is. Wayne Booth. Paphiopedilum Wayne Booth. It's a Westschildianum hybrid. I forget what the other one is. It's Westschildianum by Westschildianum cross something. I forget what it is, unfortunately. So I think that's it, except for one plant. Well, 2 plants. There's a Vanda growing right here. Not in bloom yet. There's some other orchids growing around. Only one more plant. It's one of my bigger ones. Very big female Nepenthes ventricosa crustivei by Truncata. Got a vine with upper pitchers and 3 flower spikes. A big basal with a pitcher that's nearly as big. Look at that. Probably about 7 to 8 inches. Not small, but I would expect a Truncata hybrid to get bigger than that eventually. We'll see what happens when it gets its second or it's yeah, second or third baseball. But yeah, that's the collection. Not huge yet, but we're getting there. Lots of valuable plants. Maybe I'll have more or make the next one. I hope not. I'm running out of money. Need to start making these guys pay for themselves. But yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of time before they do that. But yeah, that's the collection, and I'll see you in the next video.